Okay, guys, welcome to another episode. We are here with John from Pier Front Pizzeria and Adamo down in Port Arlington. John, do you want to give us just an introduction of yourself, what you do there, what you offer, what got you into it?
Okay, yeah. So Pier Front, we've pretty much started it 7 years ago. This January would be our 7th anniversary. The initial intention was to have a little restaurant, 20 seats, something to sort of move away from the big smoke because we were living in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So we moved down permanently because we had a holiday house in Ocean Grove and we just loved the Bellarine that much. So I thought, what can we do to stay here full time? And half the problem when you're sort of deciding on that sort of thing is, finding a place to live and all that sort of stuff, work, stuff, schools for the kids and whatnot. So we already had the house. So that was the major issue sorted. So then we just started looking for a venue and, someone came up with an idea of, hey, check out this place in Port Arlington that's sort of up for lease now.
Yeah.
It was a business that had been shut for 6 months. It was an old style Italian, almost trattoria style. Yeah. It was popular. Holidaying in Ocean Grove, we sort of stayed around that area. We didn't really venture out to Port Arlington. So as close as it is to home now, I have no idea what it was like back then. All the information is what I've got, secondhand from previous customers that used to go there or makers that would tell me.
And it still gets pretty busy though in summer, doesn't it? Port
Arlington.
It's very touristy.
It's very touristy.
Yeah. A lot of Melburnians.
Yeah.
Holiday makers and caravan parks and that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Every Joey and
and
Angela's down there.
Yeah.
Like it's got a very eclectic sort of demographic and it. It definitely flips on its head come December 26th.
Yeah.
Completely different to what it is.
And you get a lot of the Maltese community coming down.
Absolutely. That's what
they love it.
Yeah.
They have the Maltese Festa down there. And truthfully, that's what I used to hear. I've got a lot of Maltese friends back in Melbourne.
Yeah.
They always, used to tell me about this Maltese Festa in Port Arlington. And
wow. Yeah.
And I, even back then, thinking about it, I used to thought it was Port Arlington. Not Port Arlington.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. So that was sort of an eye opener when we But we're on the main drag down there. There's really only one street. There's a lot of construction and whatnot going on now. So, in the coming years, the town's going to be more than just a one-dimensional street facing the water. There's going to be other roads that have, food offerings and retail and So they're spending a lot of money. There's a lot of developers and what.
There's a new estates opening up.
Yeah, there's heaps, and it's probably only really interest rates and things like that slowed things down. Sort of as a whole, but that's all cyclical. It's going to bounce back.
Always.
Stayed recently at the beach pods. It's on the Ballarine
in the caravan park there.
And they got the beach pods like right on the
they
were awesome.
They're like those rounded sort of.
It was weird having people jogging in the morning right past your cabin, but it's good. Like it's really nice. So,
stand there fully naked.
Give a bit of a
No, but that place over the summer, like where you're talking,
I could imagine it would get packed.
Man, it's money.
And that's obviously your money maker. That summertime.
It's a different
you work
different type of business to what you'd see out here, Adam, in Geelong. Where you've got to follow sort of school holidays, the holiday times and whatnot. You've really got to monitor that closely. Because if you get it wrong, it's detrimental to your business.
Well, we as I mentioned, we had Lancefield. It wasn't super touristy, but we got summer was our time, and we had to make enough to get through the winter. You know what I mean? Because other than the locals, people weren't coming out from Melbourne and that to try a pizza in winter. You know what I mean? But we used to get a lot of Lansfield was more like that town where they were going somewhere like Bendigo or
passing through.
Got a lot of car people, like car clubs that would come through. So you really had to kind of capture that business, otherwise you missed out.
And I guess that's the beauty where we are now. They're really promoting the ferry because there's a passenger ferry from Melbourne, Docklands, to Port Arlington. And they've even put another league in that comes to Geelong.
Part
of the waterfront.
And there's one that goes to Mornington.
That's from
this side or
Queenscliff though.
Queenscliff?
Yeah, that's from
Okay. Yeah,
Queenscliff
yeah.
over to Sorrento. But
Yeah. That's
Um,
been going for years.
That's a lot.
That's
yeah.
not just passenger vehicles. Like that one.
Vehicles.
This
Yeah,
one's
yeah. I just
much
imagine.
smaller. Yeah,
Yeah.
catamaran. Nice, really
Okay.
nice boat.
That's good for you too.
It is,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
you know, and I guess that's the target, to sort of capture more of those day trippers that we do get,
Yeah.
rather than what you used to get. You know,
Yeah.
We'd
See if they'll
people
chuck
just
a
pass
pizza oven
through.
on it. We can just make some pizzas for it on there in between. Like,
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah,
Down in
cool.
little old Port Island.
yeah. Have you
Yeah.
got a big team, a small team? Like, how's it?
Yeah, at the moment we're in a building stage. I was mentioning that, and it's sort of because of the demographic. We've got to sort of gear up for summer now. So
Okay.
we're in the
Yeah.
process of building. But we sort of average 15 or 16 people, half
Yeah,
of which are
nice.
full timers, and then we've really got to build up to around the 23, 24
Okay.
team size, because
That's
otherwise
pretty
we
good. Yeah.
struggle over the summer, because we really need to maximize
Yeah.
the summer to get us through to winter, like
Of
you were
course.
saying.
Yeah.
Very similar. So yeah, we extend our hours over summer, and to make sure we're sort of ticking that box. As far
Yeah.
as,
So have you got a kitchen as well, or just pizza?
yeah, we've got a full
There you go.
offering.
Full off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
nice.
kitchen, 2 bars. We've got a back garden that also doubles up as a function space.
Oh,
So
beauty.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
fully,
that's nice. Yeah.
fully self-contained with its
Yeah.
own bar and its
You don't
own
have to come here.
services.
Sounds
And
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is.
Yeah.
And that,
So-
that back area is nice too.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
different. We put a lot of the big groups out there. Even the tables, the 8-seater tables, so it's conducive to those
Okay. Yeah.
big groups or parties and whatnot. Whereas inside we sort of limit it to sort of 4 to 5
Yeah.
guests per table, and it works. So there's
Yeah.
a different vibe. Yeah, it's like you're in 2 different venues.
Yep.
But it's all getting served by the one pizzeria and the one kitchen.
Yeah.
Same
Right.
time,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
menu, but different dynamics, different feel.
Yeah. And ovens, Marana, it was.
Yeah.
You use the
So
Marana oven.
we've got a
Yeah.
Marana oven that we put in back in 2018.
Yep.
When I bought that old place, like I was saying, it was only a small Italian restaurant. It had a home built wood oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I think I remember it
uh,
really
it,
high, wasn't it?
it was super high.
They would have been hard to
It
contain
was
the heat.
clad with like river stone,
Oh, jeez.
and
Oh.
with grout joins that were like
Yeah.
2 inches wide and something.
Made it.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was, and it was definitely homemade. I built my own oven back in
Yeah,
when we were living there, so I know that there is an actual formula to the the height of the.
Yeah.
They would have built
First
that, and they're
of
like,
all-
"This isn't coming out." Like, it's
Yeah.
just
No.
sticking out.
No, and that's where I was scratching my head when I knew we had to get rid of it.
Sledgehammer.
And I started to crap myself. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I still remember it was about June. We'd only been open since January, so whatever that is, 5-6 months. And I come in to open the door to the oven that morning, and I'm like, 2 bricks like in the middle of the of the oven
Oh,
floor
shit,
with like
yeah.
all rubble around it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
my head inside. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm ready to light this thing to get it ready for dinner.
Yeah.
And we're still sort of in that honeymoon stage. We hadn't been open 5 months, so we were still
Yeah.
booked out
Yeah.
every night, because people had to book 3 weeks in advance.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I'm crap myself thinking, how are we going to go through trade? This thing's going to collapse in itself.
Yeah.
So that's when the process started, looking, what are we going to do? And talking
Yeah.
about sledgehammer, I also thought when I demolished it, I'd just hit it once and the whole thing would just implode.
Yeah.
Mate, no.
No.
It built to last.
Mate,
Yeah.
the thing was built.
He built the outside to last.
Just the inside.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it didn't come apart that easily, but I managed to do it. And
Yeah.
God knows how many wheelbarrow loads I
Jeez.
took out to the back area and dumped, and then
Yeah. So they didn't use fire bricks, but they used
no, it was
like
red. It was the red,
hundreds
like a
of kilos
pressed
of
red.
cement to kind of.
And it was a ton of cement
Yeah.
and stones, and we just cooked it. Like we ran it hot and we ran it hard from
Yeah,
day
yeah.
one.
Maybe I
Yeah.
wasn't used to that.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like
And then
One of those old school where they just had some twigs in the corner
Yeah.
of it, like,
oh,
Well, then being shut off for 6 months or more.
yeah,
Probably
kind of
wouldn't have-
deteriorated.
yeah.
oh yeah, the moisture to it. Yeah.
We opened up. Just moments ago, we were talking about the peak of summer. We opened up on the 8th of January,
Yeah.
which was the second week of the hectic time.
Yeah.
So we hit the ground running. Yeah, like we had to run hard, fast, like from
Yes.
day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have no slow burn-in or anything. Like it was already an old oven. He'd had it for 4 years. And
Yeah, fair enough.
But
yeah.
the damage we did in 6 months, it was time to move on and put in the Marana. and we sort of never looked back.
And you've got the Marana, the base it turns.
Just the the rotating floor.
Yeah.
We don't have the sewer dual where you can raise it up and
Oh,
down.
okay. Yep.
That was a bit.
But you've got arms to do that.
Got what?
You got
I
arms.
said you got your arms to do that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, like, we did find that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Up and down, and you get the same result. But we did a little modification to it of probably a year after we got it.
Okay.
We just added an extra burner underneath, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, and it keeps up now.
Yeah.
We're finding it was sort of capped at about the 110 mark. So once you hit that sort of number consecutively, you just lose too much heat.
Right.
The floor.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was hard to recover. So we put an extra burner in just to keep up with that demand over our peak times, really.
Yeah. And where's that? Like, is that for the floor?
Correct.
Like an
yeah. So the oven had an actual, I can't remember what they used to call it. It's not many years ago, but it was a space already in the front right that was designed for a secondary burner.
Oh, okay.
And it's looks like a big wok burner. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. From underneath, and it's got its own control dial and things like that. Very primitive. There's nothing electronic really involved in it, but it's virtually like a side burner on a barbecue. You turn it on, it burns, and then when we think, that's hot enough, we'll gear it down or turn it off altogether. Or
it's very innovative things with those ovens. We're going to be getting them on the podcast. We've been speaking to them.
Yeah. So Corrado, I'm sure he'll be more than happy to join you anyway.
Yeah, we've been chatting with them.
Yeah.
I think I met him.
He lives in Sydney now, though.
Yeah, I think I met him last year. Was he at that?
He would have been at any of the expos.
Yeah, he did an event at
the Bruno's event, was it?
Yeah,
the fun.
No, it wasn't Bruno's, but it was at the same place. Like
Hospidium. Oh, okay, yeah.
Hospidium done another last year. I think it was in April or something.
Yeah,
and they had the marang set up. And, all of their cooking using the oven. It was really cool.
Yeah,
and I think I met Corrado there.
Okay, yeah. He seems really nice from what I spoke.
Yeah, he seems very nice.
They are innovative, and if you go to any of their shows at their expos and whatnot, they go all out.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
they're impressive.
It's like going to the car show and going past Porsche or Maserati displays. Like they just go.
Yeah. They take a lot of pride in it.
Yeah. And I think that's what caught us. And like I was saying, the oven was falling apart. It wasn't just I wanted it, I needed it. So I was looking at a few different options, and theirs actually suited the timeline of what.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because a lot of these, they come from Italy. You need technicians to assemble. It's stuff you can't do yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like buying a combi oven and plugging it into your three-phase.
Yeah.
I've got a new oven.
Yeah.
There's a lot involved. You got the plumber to do all the flue system.
Yeah.
Certification. You've got a B-class gas fitter to connect the gas line and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
from what I've seen, they get them up pretty quick. Like they get. They don't waste any time.
No.
Like getting
Ours,
the pieces all together.
Yeah. I think they started about 8 a.m. I was away at the time because we couldn't trade, so we decided to have a holiday at the time. So we shut, but they started about 8 a.m. that morning, and I think they were walking out about 11 p.m.
Gee,
long
day, but
one day.
One day.
Yeah, wow.
So the next day, all I needed to do was organise that plumber to do the flue system.
The flue, yeah.
And you could pretty much start burning it in, because you still got to burn it.
Yeah.
It's all cast refractory.
Yes, yeah.
Concrete. With a ton of insulation, both top and bottom.
Yeah. No, they look very well.
So ours doesn't look like the traditional Marana. You wouldn't see it.
And,
because we've had it clad. They've got that classic Neapolitan sort of.
You put a.
We've cladded the facade. We didn't have that roof option, so we've cladded it with timber, kind of like Damo's benches, like that really rustic.
Oh, nice.
Put some signage on it.
So do you just seaboard the mouth
of
the oven?
Yeah. Ours has got a square mouth as well. Whereas they're normally sort of semicircle.
Yeah.
So ours has been designed to go behind a brick wall.
Oh, okay.
Cut the opening from behind, and you wouldn't see any of the other bits and pieces.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Again, time restraints. That was all that was on offer.
Yeah.
And we took it up, knowing that's what it was going to be like, and we were going to finish it in our style.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It served us well. It's done.
Awesome.
God knows how many pizzas it's cooked.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
It'd be good to have a counter.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure I can run a report to see, but it would be
a lot.
I think it would be surprising. It'd be surprising.
Yeah.
Some 40,000 transactions. So
nice.
God knows how many pizzas and that within those orders. So.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, out of those, one pizza per transaction is already
40,000 pizzas.
I'm sure out of those 40,000, you've got maybe a couple customer stories for them.
Yes. Customer story. And he'd asked me, he goes, you got any stories? And honestly, the only thing that came to mind was when I was 16. Yeah. I don't know if it suits the
if it's pizza related,
it is. It's
hospitality on that.
It's absolutely pizza related. And any of my close friends back from school and back home would know the story and would laugh hearing it. So my first part-time job after school hours was in a little tiny pizzeria.
Okay.
And I had a kitchen, really basic kitchen, but mainly pizza, sort of the hybrid between, I guess, a classic and what we call Australian style.
Yeah. But
I remember my old boss was really, I think he was from the SD, really old school.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. He used to be waiting for me. I'd catch the bus after school to High Point. It was in High Point Shopping Centre. And they were popular because they did pizza by the slice, actually. Marie at the front. So if you're walking past, you get a slice of pizza. But anyway, as soon as I get there, he'd have a job list, 10, 12 items that I had to do. And I'm thinking, now knowing how a kitchen runs, I'm thinking, geez, you got me to do all that?
Yeah.
I wasn't even 16 at the time.
Yeah.
One of which was managing the dough that he made. So I had to move it from outside. He used to put it in big tubs, cover it in plastic, move it into the cool room. And he'd always be very specific. He goes, make sure you keep the dough, because God knows how much yeast he put in it, but it used to overflow like a mushroom. So you had to sort of push it back in. Yeah.
Was that like same day dough kind of thing? Like made it in the morning?
Yeah, it was a direct method, and he'd use it the next day though.
Okay.
So he'd make it as I got there after school, would have been 4:00.
Yeah.
He'd already be sort of washing his hands and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just done. And then he'd use it, I believe, the next day. He didn't really reveal many of his secrets on that. And he could say that he had trade secrets. But to a 16-year-old, like you would anyway.
You wouldn't have absorbed that. Yeah.
But anyway, pushing his dough in, I still remember being so young and naive, and I'd have burns all over my arms and crazy. Because it was an electric deck oven,
Oh, yeah.
And if you grab it like that, it would open straight on your forearm, and you'd get these singes. So I was forever getting burns, cuts, and that, because I was processing mushrooms, shaving cheese. I was doing all the preps, And that day, cut my finger. I put a dirty old Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
No blue Band-Aids back then.
This
is 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And again, during the night, I'll go check on this stone. I'm like, oh, yeah, shit, it's proof and big time.
Yeah.
Let's push it in. And I'm pushing it in.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
And I guess, hats off to me for noticing.
Yeah.
I put my hand down. I'm like, oh, shit. First thing I realized, I'm like, where's that Band-Aid one?
Oh my God.
So I'm in there.
You better make it clear that this isn't your restaurant.
No. This isn't my restaurant. And I don't even know. I never heard anything from it either.
Wow.
So whether someone swallowed it or whatever, I have no idea. Because I was only there sort of 3 nights.
Yeah, there was no Google reviews back
then. No, absolutely not.
I had something similar, but not Band-Aid. Because I use gloves a lot. And so when I make dough, I naturally use gloves. And I made a batch of dough and I lost all of the fingers.
Because I wear it out.
And I'm like, where is it? Luckily, it wasn't in the mixer. It was at the end when I was shaping the dough, and I was just great. So
I actually have a similar story too. It was a while ago now. My car, his bracelet came off. He didn't know, right? Anyway, we ball up the dough, and one of my other pizza was stretching out a face. And he goes,
"This is bracelet."
He goes, "What's this?" He pulled out a fucking bracelet. And we're like, what the hell?
Wow.
Oh, my God.
It just belonged to you.
Jeez.
What was that? In the Don't. Oh man.
Oh my God. Should have kept it in there.
Yeah,
Like a free gift,
yeah.
you know, like like lucky dip or something like.
As far as anything else, nothing really strikes me as
Yeah.
So
you've had like a pretty fair, good amount of clientele. Like they're not like overbearing, or like an interaction that's someone that's complained about something that really stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Or
There's one that definitely sticks in my head, but I don't know if it's suitable for the shop.
Okay.
But it was pretty. No, it's pretty hairy. It was a guy that probably drank too much.
Okay.
So he probably should have been cut off, and he then got upset that he was charged for a steak that was cooked not to his liking, but it was to his friend's liking. So his friend demolished his plate, ate all the steak, all the chips, all the stuff, and then had a complaint at the counter saying, "Oh, I didn't eat the steak." and the whoever was on the counter was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get any notification that there was a steak that went back to kitchen." So he didn't like that. That he was paid for his and his argument was that he ordered the steak, but he didn't eat it, so he shouldn't have to pay for it. But yet he was paying for the whole table. And we're like, but
if you had that, someone just send it back and get another one.
That got a bit heated, and we had to diffuse it. We almost had to call the police on him. Honestly, it was that bad. Yeah. So over a $45 steak, or it wasn't even that actually. This is going back 5 years ago when
say probably in their 30s or something.
36 or something. But
some people
that still hangs around.
What about some people get real heated over such little things?
But like I said, I think he drank too much and he wasn't thinking logically. That's what it was.
What about for pizza? If you had anyone, a customer where they're like, "Oh, I don't fucking like this pizza," or something, I don't know, whatever. They complain about something.
Look, every now and then, like we do a classic style pizza, and we don't use shredded ham, and yes, we do have a Hawaiian on the menu. So there are some customers that I guess they order a Hawaiian, they expect the shredded ham, with a ton of sweet pineapple on top. So the fact that we do it with like a shaved leaf ham is a different style.
It's a good,
it's a compromise, I think.
You're like, hey,
exactly.
It's
the ethos of it. So we've had, and it's always based around the Hawaiian. I still remember one. I wouldn't even feed it to my dog. You rang up.
I've had that.
Have you got a dog? No. Well, throw it in the bin. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Like that's how we do it, and that's how it's written on the menu.
We had once like that at the old shop. When we first started, she didn't tell us to our face, but when I left the reviews, 1 star, and complained that we didn't use shredded ham, and that we used shaved ham. I had pineapple pizza.
Wow.
And that they used the little cubes of pineapple. Well, that's how it comes anyway. The pizza, ham and pineapple pizza with shredded ham, pineapple still.
Slices. No, that's it.
But she complained using that and not a shredded ham. The pizza's hasn't got shredded ham. They've got a couple of talked about it. They use Coles. Coles
ham.
But obviously having freshly sliced, you do every day. That's your time. Whatever you're using a good quality product, and to have a customer complain about you, like fucking hell.
You take the hard.
You want to use. You want us to use a cheap, processed crap ham that's as full of who knows what's in it. Over it.
Well, they don't even classify it as ham.
No, that's
right. Speak to the reps. I don't even call it a ham. They call it a cop top because it's a
that's
meat of some sort.
That's it.
No
such thing as ham over there.
No,
I quickly diffuse. I say, mate, I don't serve that to my kids, and what we're cooking is what I'd serve to my kids.
That's it.
If we want to eat what my kids eat, then that's what I'm comfortable saying. Or
that's a good way of looking at it.
Because
some people are all about, they just they focus more on getting fed rather than the quality of their feed. You know what I mean? Quantity over quality. Some people are just like that.
Yeah, and that's
and some are just accustomed.
Your customer base is going to be, people that love Neapolitan style pizza.
Yeah.
Or they don't,
or those that don't understand it,
they don't understand.
But they appreciate it, or then some that don't understand it, but don't agree with it. You're always going to get them. But you'd think nowadays more that there is quite a lot of wood-fired pizza out there that people would understand that there is this kind of pizza out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's starting to head that way slowly.
Yeah.
Compared to when we first started 8 years ago to now, it's a lot different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have those customers that were like, oh, pizza's floppy or soggy and that, but they didn't understand how.
Yes.
Especially when you add deliveries to the equation, the style of pizza doesn't keep well.
It's obviously fresh in the oven, eating, dining. We do it with takeaway, and it's cool. It doesn't travel as good as it. We said eating, but you still get customers.
Because there's customers that want that. They're not interested in dining.
Some that
you can always just chuck it on a tray, put it in your oven for a few minutes.
We've got heaps of customers like that.
Yeah, we had
regulars that buy it, not to eat then, but they'll eat it 3 hours later.
We have a couple of customers actually that will say to us, "Don't cut the pizza," and they get takeaway.
That's it. Yeah.
And maybe that's something about a bit off.
That's it, yeah.
On the app, just click uncut.